Okay, we're going to exercise 2. Like I said, this is the one I'll walk you through. I'll let you guys work in groups, working with exercises 3, 4, and 5, which is joining the rest of the servers to the domain. This is preparing Active Directory domain services. We're going to log into the domain controller, which we already have done, so we're logged in. And it says using Active Directory users and computers. This isn't really even related to DNS at all. I'm not sure the purpose of this yet. I'm sure it's used somewhere in the book. But we want to be going to the Active Directory users and computers. Let's not come in our local servers, so we just close this completely. This is where our tiles come in. So going down to the start in the lower left-hand corner, we want to click on the start. And now, because we have Active Directory installed, we have more tiles over here. Yes, you can close Server Manager. And we're going to go to Active Directory users and computers. So Active Directory users and computers. It's the, I don't know, first column, third one down. It does bring you back to the desktop side and open this window, but this is how you can launch it. Now it's just creating a user, and we want to do it under the users container under the contoso.com domain. So it's all coming back, isn't it? So this is good. This is good. So if I click on users, you can see all the built-in users already, and we want to create a new user. And you can do that a couple different ways. You can right-click over here in the open area, and go to New, and then User. You can click on the little person with the sunshine behind them, which means New User. However you want to do it, you get the New User, New Object User. We're going to name this person Kim Akers. So it's Kim, A-K-E-R-S. But the login is going to be Kim_Akers, is how we're going to be. Well, I guess I should keep it consistent with them. I do not believe it's case sensitive. I'll just match the book though. Kim Akers.
So first name and last name.
Yep. First name is Kim. Last name is Akers. A-K-E-R-S. And then the login is going to be Kim_Akers. When I click next, it's asking for a password. We'll use our creative consistent password. But we want the password never to expire. Otherwise, you log in, it makes you change it, and then you don't know who changed what password when, and sometimes it's password 1. Remember that last semester? Yeah. It tells you that you can't have it to never expire and make them log in at the next time. Then make it change the next time they log in. So it automatically unchecks the user must change the password at login because the password never expires. You click next, and so now you're that person created. The next activity is working with adding an entry for the reverse lookup zone for our current network. Yes? Thank you for the reminder, but Kim also, before we move on to step 3, needs to be added to 3 different groups, different admin groups. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can go to the groups and add, is Kim a boy or girl? Let's say she's a girl. And so we'll add her this way though. So we double click on Kim Akers, and it'll bring up her properties page. The upper left tab is member of. You can click member of, and this is where we can start adding them. If I click on add, the first one is an enterprise admin. So I type in enterprise and then check names. I want to add it to enterprise admins. I click on enterprise admins and then click OK. I want to add another one. I want to do domain admins. If you type in the whole word domain admins and just click enter, it will add them automatically to domain admins. And the third one is schema admins. It is. And all those are listed in step 2 of exercise 2 on page 628. Yes, we do definitely want to add her to those groups. Now the next activity is dealing with DNS. So we want to open the DNS console. So we're going to close the Active Directory Users Computers console. Go back to our Start button or our Start area. And now we have DNS as another tile that we can work with. So just watch this for now. Watch this if possible, and then you can do this. It's not too difficult, but just make sure you're in the right spots. Under DNS, we have our domain controller. We want to expand the domain controller, and we want to look at our reverse lookup zones. And we don't have any, so we want to add one. Okay, so now I'm going to add a reverse lookup zone. So I can right-click on here. Oh, okay, let's go back to DNS. I'm going to the Start, the lower left-hand corner. Gives me the tiles, or the window key. Yes, the window key will tile back and forth, switch back and forth between tiles on the desktop. What's that? It's not like using my mouse. I hate using the keyboard. Then I click on DNS. I open up my DC, which is my domain controller, and then I see reverse lookup zone. I don't have a reverse lookup zone. I want to add one. I want to add a new zone. So I right click and go to new zone. Click on next. Now it says we want to create a primary zone. So that's what we want to do, is a primary zone. And, going back, and we want to store it in Active Directory, so that's all default. The next one, it says we want to ensure that the zone is stored within the directory service and replicated to all DNS servers running on the domain controllers in the forest. So that's the first option. Default's the second option. We want to go to the first option. We want to go to the whole forest. And then we click next. It's an IP version 4 reverse lookup. And now we give it the network ID. It is telling you to do 10.10.10.x. What do you do when you see 10.10.10. anything? Correct. 192.168.118. And then we leave the last octet blank because that's the network ID that we're referring to. Correct. Correct, the top one.
192.168.118. That's it.
Yep. 192.168.118, and that's it. Then we click next. Allow only secure dynamic updates, that's recommended, and we click next and finish. And that's it. That's all that you have to do for it. You don't have to run it, activate it. It is there and running and active. I want to make sure I got through those first two activities because creating a domain controller is critical. If you mess that up, nobody else can join you. This is also really important, especially because it doesn't take you through step by step of how to add those reverse lookups. And we remember from last semester how to do that. Do you remember doing it last semester? Okay. Okay, half of you remember doing it. We did. No, not you're not. Oh yeah, for you? I don't know. Did I teach you? No. Because reverse lookup zones are critical for a domain controller to function. So, never did that one. Okay. Anyway, that is the end of exercise 2. Like I said, exercises 3, 4, and 5 are just joining the domains. Once you have everything joined, that would be a perfect time for another set of snapshots. You have to keep all these servers synchronized now. You cannot go back to the base image of one and go back to a domain controller environment of the other. They're not going to match. So as you do any of these exercises, you want to be making sure you get a snapshot of all 4 of your servers. Do whatever your changes, play around, blah, blah, add people, delete, mess things up, and then revert them all back to the same snapshot level. Otherwise, you're going to be pointing to things that aren't there, and it's going to be a mess. So once you get these joined, you've got to keep them all synchronized. So at the end of every week, I would certainly be shutting down all your servers, taking a snapshot, name them the same thing, like post appendix exercises, or after joining the domain, or whatever you want to call it. Just so you know that that's where you're going to revert to it, and put in your notes. So if you want to go back to something, this is the snapshot that you're looking for. You can take snapshots while servers are running. Because it's so integrated and so complex, I would really encourage you to be having your servers down when you take snapshots and reverting to snapshots, though. that you get those at a constant, steady state and not working at different levels. It's going to mess up. So that is the end of activity exercise 2 for the appendix exercise. Finishing exercises 3, 4, and 5 for this week, for today, and then we'll pick up chapter 1 activities on Friday. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, that's it.